Hey friends, this is Mrs. Wolfie from Life with the Wolfies, and we're going to work on the recipes again. Now what I want to do today, we're going to work on the recipe box again. Now what I want to do today is I want to go through, we pretty much went through Granny Lockhart's book, but now we want to go through and pick the recipes that I want to try before. Like, I'm not going to print anything that I haven't tried myself first, right? So we're going to go through the recipes today, and we're going to pick ones that we're going to try on our half-acre homestead. You feel me where we're going with this? But we're going to pick them out here, and then I'm going to photocopy them. And let's see how many recipes we can get out of what we've looked at so far to try out. And if we like it, then it'll go in the cookbook. I'm just about ready to start photocopying, but now listen, folks, do not do this at home, but I'm going to add it to the book for historical value only. Recipe for canning chicken. Dress as usual, cut in pieces, pack in jars, bones and meat together. Add 1 teaspoon of salt to a quart jar. Fill the jar to within 1 inch or 2 of the top with water. Screw on top firmly. Now put strips of wood on bottom of boiler. That means in the bottom of the pot, so they're not sitting directly on the bottom. Place the jars in the boiler, cover with water, and keep on the jumping boil for 4 hours. Tighten the lids and set away to cool. Absolutely taking your life in your hands. What on earth? Wow, look at this, guys. War cake. Doesn't say how old it is, but this was held together in a little booklet with string. Look at this. Look at this. Amazing. Please make us a cake. Look at this. How old is this? Use domestic shortening. Makers of delicious pastry, lightest cakes. Remember, Crisco started that trend. Domestic shortening. Better than butter, cheaper than lard. Toronto, Canada. What is the date on this? Belfast cake. Oh yeah, we're going to be doing some of these, but we're not going to use shortening, guys. You know why? We don't do shortening. We know it's bad for you. But I'm going to say, this book doesn't say when it was, might say on the very last page. Toronto, Canada, send for free booklet. I'm going to say this is in the 1920s or 30s. Hints for the housewife. Wow. Yeah, we're going to keep that. Magic, wow, magic cookbook. Look at this. Some of these should be in a book in their own. Oh, it's for magic baking powder. Wow. It's held together with tape, but I'm gonna pickled cranberries, rhubarb relish. This is all a little cookbook for magic baking powder. Is there a date? Toronto, Canada. All these industries that used to be in our own backyard. But, wow. Published by E.W. Gillette Company Limited, Toronto, Ontario, Winnipeg, and Montreal. Oh my goodness. Remember Cow Brand baking soda? Used to be Dwight's. This is history, man. New fashioned old recipes. Audrey N. Passmore, 1938. 1948, excuse me. Orange Raisin Gems, Mary Ann's Soda Biscuits, Downey's Pancakes, Old South Yankee Johnny Cake. Oh my goodness, we got history happening here, folks. Gold Standard baking powder. They used to do this. They used to put little booklets out to get you with recipes and stuff to get you to buy their stuff. Graham muffins, rice muffins. Rice muffins. Baking powder, milk, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Rice muffins. Griddle cakes and waffles. Berry muffins, rolled oat muffins. Meats, beefsteak, beef and kidney pudding. Howie would never eat it, but scalloped oysters, creamed salmon, fried white fish, baked pike. Had ulcers and sores from elbow to fingers. 5 doctors and specialists failed to cure. Zambuc worked a miracle of healing which minister fully corroborates. I've been filming for over an hour, but this is obviously not going to be just a cookbook. There is a lot of historical material here that I'm just going to share with y'all, from recipes and traditions. And I mean, at Christmas time, I mean, there's stories in that magazine, right? I mean, this is a treasure trove. Recipes from the operating and recovery room staff at St. Joseph's Hospital, Peterborough, Ontario. Like, look, I mean, and the box is not even half empty. All right, so here is what I have photocopied so far of what I sorted through yesterday. This is what I still have to photocopy. And some of this stuff, like this is war cake, and it's so very, very delicate. It's been tied together with a piece of twine. You see that? This is going to be a much bigger project than I anticipated. It's probably going to take me the rest of my life. But in the meantime, I'm still taking you on the journey. But there's just so much information here that it can't be contained in a cookbook. Do you understand? So what I'm going to do is, there's going to be 3 parts to this journey. I'm going to catalog all this stuff. And then I'm going to break it into groups like wartime cooking, Depression era cooking. This next one's that I'm going to start off right off the bat is going to be advertising, the role of advertising in cooking. Okay? Because here's what we got. Look, I have photocopied all of this stuff. But for instance, do you remember me talking about, if you don't, then Google this, Mother Linda's The Rise and Fall of Crisco. Crisco, her article, her take on this, her article explains how artificial food was just unofficially let onto the market with very, very little scientific backup. And it started with Crisco, okay? And Crisco was the first artificial food. But because there was so little science needed back then, that all they had to do was get one doctor to say, well, technically it's vegetable, and vegetables are better for you than meat. And another to say, well, because it's vegetable, then it should be better for your heart, better for your body, blah, 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 blah. They didn't understand what the hydrogenation process did to that. To sell Crisco is they took on 2 major industries And one was the lard industry, and one was the butter industry with Crisco. And they did a brilliant move. They produced a cookbook with all the things that you could cook in replacing lard and butter. And that's when artificial food was born. I got to drop the camera. My shoulder's killing me. In light of that history, like look at this, oleomargarine, right? Here's a little booklet, and I've looked everywhere on the internet, and I can't find this particular booklet. Domestic shortening makes delicious pastry, lighter cakes, and that. So I'm judging by the dress. This is 1920s. Maybe even probably between 1900 and, yeah, between 1900 and 1920 is what I'm going to say. But this whole thing is they're doing the exact same thing as Crisco did, only on a smaller scale. There's going to be a series of, on each one of these little books. I'm going to put all these books together, and I'm going to do just a video on going through the history of advertising in food just with these little booklets. Okay, that's a video. I'm also going to do cooking videos on trying out some of all of these old recipes that I'm photocopying, because I don't want to put a recipe in the cookbook that I haven't tried first, right? And so that's our half-acre homestead stuff. So everybody's going to, and there's newspaper articles and stuff here. There's an old magazine from the first talkie films. And there's stories like Legend of Sleepy Hollow and stuff in there. And I'd like to read those live on the reading channel. So, you know what I mean? There is a ton of work, years worth of work. This is Mrs. Wolfe from Life with the Wolfes saying, yeah, there's going to be gardening and there's going to be quilting, but my life is getting fastly consumed by history and cooking. Mwah! Take care. God bless.